All right, welcome everybody. I think we are now figured out. Sorry for the late delay. There was some technical difficulties, a little bit of hearing myself. And if you've ever tried to talk where you can hear your own voice through your headphones with a delay, it absolutely does not work. Absolutely. So let's give a quick sound check from everyone. Critmancer, can you say something?
Yep. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, everyone.
Let's go, Rogue.
Yeah. Welcome to the party.
The party. And Steve, I think we're good.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Let's do this.
All right. Well, now the official intro. Welcome, everybody, to Splinter Talk episode 14. It is getting too old. We might have to shut down here soon. There's just too many episodes. Rebrand. Well, apparently, Splinterlands themselves is making a podcast, right? I don't know if you guys saw that announcement a couple weeks ago. They're like, vote on the name. And I was like, guys, I'll just sell you the Splinter Talk show name for like a gold foil kitty. Maybe level 3 would be great for me, but I haven't heard a bite yet.
Get the maxed out card, man. Don't go cheap.
Well, okay, that's fair. That's fair. I'm playing in gold, so I would still go for a gold foil gold level card. But you're right. If they want to give me max level, that's pretty great as well. But thank you guys for being here in the chat. We'll try to take in what you're saying as well, because there is lots to talk about with the new reward changes, lots of exciting things. We're going to be discussing the good, the bad, and the ugly. But before we do that, let's just take a little time and just want to hear how you guys are doing. So, Critmancer, we'll hit you up first. Anything going on in your life? Any cool updates over the last couple weeks?
We hit 1,000 subs on YouTube, so thanks to all the subs out there. Appreciate it.
Atta boy, you deserve it.
Yeah, thanks. So no, it's going good. I mean, this is the Splinterlands, the summer of Splinterlands. So I think we're on to something good. I know we were going to talk a little bit today about some of the changes with the rank rewards over the last 24 to 48 hours, but in the grand scheme of things, I think we're moving in the right direction here. So
Sweet. Awesome. How about for yourself, Rogue? Anything cool going on in life? Anything exciting?
Yeah, we just got back from vacation. Spent the week before Memorial Day off work. Had some friends up. Got some good time with them. And then when they went down to the Indy 500, packed up the kids, went to Cincy, went to the zoo, went to the aquarium. Just good, dedicated family time. And, it was real recharging. Real recharging.
Yeah.
So felt
Except for you
very
missed
good.
last week's Splinter Talk, so now you're even further behind,
Right?
Steve.
Right.
So was it really worth all that vacation time, Rogue?
You know what? Just a bit, because honestly, it killed the time till we got to ranked rewards. Like that, like last 5 days.
True.
I was on vacation. Y'all were like just, and
Yeah,
I'm
it was
just like, yeah,
painful.
no, I'm good. We'll get there.
Cool. I'm glad you guys had a good time as a family. Sounds awesome. How about for you, Steve? Any updates over last week?
Yeah, nothing major. I had a good Memorial Day weekend, spent time with the kids. We got a above ground pool that a neighbor gave us and set it up, so they got to play in that. And it's kind of funny to see. I don't think I'd ever have one of those, but when somebody just gives it to you, you're going to take it.
Congrats.
So that was fun. I got 2 validators in the validator sale, so that was really cool that I was able to pick them up during the pre-sale. I was happy about that.
How many are you giving away?
One for me, one for a friend. Well, this will be one of those things where like it's finally like we were here, right? He's not going to be able to tell us in a year. Yeah, I got this validator node for like $15.
Yeah,
it's like no, we know what you paid for this one. Like,
See, what we should have done is all come together as a podcast. And
I paid 0 in my mind because it was all vouchers that I earned from staking and all SPS that I earned from my collection. So opportunity cost, but no actual cost. So I still got it for 0.
You right.
I still got it for those alpha and beta cards I bought years ago.
That's amazing.
Dang. Well, glad you guys are here.
Absolutely amazing.
It should be a spicy episode. I had a good time Memorial Weekend. Hope you guys. Well, I guess not everyone here is in the U.S. That is watching, but for those that were, I hope you guys all had a good Memorial Day. I know we hung out with a lot of family and friends, so. Pretty chill weekend, a nice 4-day work week for us, so that's kind of nice. And might be able to go to NFT NYC in a couple weeks with Balthazar. So my fingers crossed is not complete yet, but that would be pretty cool. I've never been to any kind of crypto NFT conference. I know we got Splinterfest coming up now in October, in case you guys didn't hear. That one threw me off. But yeah, it'll be interesting if I can get to go there. It'd be a lot of fun. Sweet. Well, let's jump into it then. There's no necessarily main topics we're going through because I think there's just the one big topic that's right in our face we can't avoid. So I want to hear from you guys. Good, bad, the ugly of Splinterland's new rewards. We've only been in it for a couple days, but thoughts so far? Anyone want to kick us off? First thing.
I'll go ahead. All right. Because I got nothing but positive things to say. I am so happy with these new reward changes. They have changed the game entirely for me. I have never paid so much attention to every game that I've played in ranked. Every single one has mattered. The win streak is important. Like, I was literally talking to like my guild leader the other day, and he was like, man, I just lost my win streak. And I'm like, and it really hurts now, doesn't it? Like, it used to not drive an emotional reaction before. It was just like, whatever, I'm playing for my 5, like, whatever. Now, you lose a 10, 11 game win streak, and it hurts. Physically, you're like, I gotta go do that again, you know? And it's a beautiful feeling. This is the kind of reaction that you're supposed to get when you're playing a game that you're actually invested into. You know, one that you actually care about, one that you want to get better at, and one that you want to do good in. And so from just that level, not being rewarded with anything, but just being presented with a game that drives all of those emotions, kudos, team. And then, yeah, number 2 is just I haven't really noticed that, like, I haven't been shorted anything since then. Like, I feel very rewarded. I'm already, like, we're day 2, and I'm half of my reward chest season end that I would have gotten. So, like, we've still got 13 more days to keep stacking onto that. So, like, I'm super excited for this. I'm jacked, absolutely jacked. Strategizing. Lots of strategy, but
Yeah,
very
I think
jacked.
that's definitely one of the key takeaways is how competitive it is getting. And I think some people like us really like that. And I think if you like the game, it should be enjoyable. But I think some people have been maybe a little bit caught off guard, and that's why they're a little bit upset. It's because they're like, now I'm getting spanked down by people who are, renting all these good cards or owning all these good cards.
I'd say overall, I'm in the same place as Rogue. I'm really happy with the way things have gone. I'm glad that the rental market has changed from just renting CP to renting actual cards, because on my set of cards I was renting out, I'm seeing more income because I have leveled up good cards as opposed to just renting out power to push yourself to that next level. I'm seeing the fact that the game's more competitive. It matters more. You've never been more upset ever when you lose what's almost a mirror match game anymore, because you're like, the RNG just robbed me of so much. But the one thing I would say that they maybe missed a little bit on and this might just be one of those things where there's not enough marketing around it, not enough understanding of it. There were some upset people, and I saw some upset tweets. I saw some upset comments. I had people come to a couple of my YouTube videos and be really, really mad and be like, I played all day and I only earned 1 chest. And I didn't engage with that person. I don't know the story behind that. I can say up in Champion 2, in Diamond, I was Champion 2. I dropped down to Diamond 2. I played a good amount for the day, got my ECR down into the 70s. I got myself 7 chests on the daily focus, and I got myself 9 on the season. I felt that was pretty good for one day. It's less chest than you used to earn in Diamond, but now they're champion chests. I haven't opened them yet because I was at work all day today, and I've been a little bit too busy to go and open them and check out if they really do pay out huge or like people are thinking. But in general, I feel pretty comfortable. But I do understand that, like, the one miss, and they have already admitted this as a miss, is the daily focus is not. Like, the daily focus literally fights the season rewards, because they're like, play your Earth team. And I'm like, but no, this isn't a good match to play the Earth team. But hey, you got to play your Earth team. And you're like, oh, what do? Do you fight for that earning for the rating and just not earn that many daily chests? Or do you play for your daily, but maybe not earn quite as many for the season? It's going to be interesting to learn the math on what is better than that.
Yeah, well, I think that's the thing that people are complaining about the most is just the daily focus having one splinter to choose from, and I see that in the chat already. It's like I get to play even more games with the splinter that I hate and I don't want to play with, right? It's like if you get stuck with a bad one, even if you do get stuck with a good one, it feels like, okay, I have to spam this over and over and over again, so it's like, well, I'm going to become predictable. A lot of my opponents come predictable. It's like every single match, their 5 history is...
Yeah.
Well, guess what they're going to play? Death. Guess what I'm going to play? Dragon. Because that's both of our daily
100%,
focuses. So
100%.
it feels like the strategy of it has been taken away a little bit. So that's what I don't like about the new change. But I think they already addressed that this is not the most optimal way, but this is what we might change in the future. So I hope they come up with a better solution, because that, I feel like, is the miss for me.
So like just quick take. I think both of you guys said the word have to. Like you guys said, like, I have to spam the same splinter. I have to do this. I have to do this. You don't have to do anything.
You have to, Rogue.
No, let me.
You will
be
go
real
to jail.
Clear. You want my like my hot take from all of this? Daily, the focus is bait. It is bait for you to waste your time and to waste your ECR. It's not even where it's at. It's in the season end. Hot take right here. I'll explain that later.
Bad take.
Bad take. Go ahead.
I earned 7 chests. 7 chests over 14 days is what? 790 chests you want me to give up on?
I'm just giving you a hard time. I want to address that topic, but first I just want to get the feelings of Cryptmancer. He hasn't
we'll
gotten
talk on season end, all right?
Yeah, okay. Cryptmancer, give us your overall thoughts so that we can fight a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so much to talk about, honestly. So my overall thoughts are I'm pleased with the change for sure. The daily focus, I'm sure, is something that the team will tweak and adjust here over time, and they'll get that right. I mean, this is not something that's insurmountable to address or fix. It's probably quite simple, honestly. But I will say that it's been a learning experience just the first 24 hours with the new rank reward system. Like I was kind of silly. I went on stream immediately and started streaming and trying to do the the daily Splinterlands summoner spam here, and I got wrecked. Like I was fighting Xanthanus and all these players that had 2 million collection power, and I got bounced from like Diamond 3 into Gold 1 and was just getting demolished. So my first day, I got two chests or champion, which wasn't ideal, but at the end of the day, those 2 chests turned into 800 DEC. So it was better than anything I would have gotten in probably champion from the previous reward system. So I think we have to put that into perspective, that this is new. And, even if I got, a bad chest draw, let's say I got 2 potions today, well, that's just one small sample size. We have to give it some time to see over the season what it all looks like. I will say that the strategy for me that I've adjusted to today is not really worrying so much about the daily focus, but really just worrying about just winning games, climbing ranks, getting the seasonal points. And if I can get in a win with a daily focus, fantastic. But to Rogue's point, I'm not focused on maximizing 30 daily chests. It's a possibility, very unlikely. For me, I'm just trying to climb back into Diamond and get the champion, get my R cubed rating up, and the season chest will pay dividends at the end of the season for me. What I'm more concerned about personally is the new user experience. So for me, for probably Steve, for Rogue, even for you, Luke, I mean, we're probably fine. We're going to do okay, like with the levels that we're playing at. What worries me is if new players in either just starting the game or at the bronze or at the silver level see it as a step backwards, that's where I start to worry, because we ultimately want them to buy in and be energized by this, and it needs to be a positive change for all levels of the game, not just players that have assets in the game already. We need to continue to get the next generation involved. And so how do we do that? How do we balance that? So what I'm going to be trying to do personally is trying to play with my alt account and just kind of see what it's like for a bronze and silver level climb. And then I can give some more feedback there. But what I'm seeing on my YouTube channel, it's been a little painful.
Well, I think to your point, I think part of the problem is that there's no way to actually go back in rank. So people, I think we're all in the habit of, what do you do previously? You push to silver 3 at minimum because if you don't, you get garbage rewards in bronze. Well, guess what? Probably everyone pushed up to silver, finished somewhat in silver last season, and guess what? Now they're having to earn silver chests where their deck might actually be better for bronze. So on my alt account, what I did, just as a test, I mean, yeah, everyone's going to hate me because I was one of those people that rented Llama Kron in bronze. But on my alt account that owns no cards besides Chaos Legion Epics, for 80 DEC, I smashed through and got 15 bronze chests because I didn't finish in silver. And I was able to just go on huge win streaks. So I think that's part of the problem, is that if you want to attempt silver, you're now punished if you want to go back, because you have to wait a full another season to stay in bronze, not getting the silver chest that you would want to, before you can actually reset back to bronze. So I'm guessing a lot of people are actually in silver when in reality they should probably be back in bronze.
Yeah, I agree. I bet you that guy that yelled in my post earned 1 silver chest playing in bronze all day. Probably had lower level cards and had to fight his way up, because if you're playing with like level 1 summoners still, even if they're purchased, and or even level 2s, but you haven't quite leveled up your cards, you've only leveled up your summoners, bronze is hard. And it's not easy to win in. I know I have my alt account that I set up, and I've been playing him up and leveling up his cards, and he has 1 level 3 summoner, the rest are level 2, and the other cards are leveled, and I've purchased like a few legendary cards because, like Oceanus was so cheap, and there's a couple others that were good. That account, I had no problem. First day, I played it from bronze 2 all the way up to silver. It earned, I just wanted to get it back into silver because I'm like, you know what, I'm going to burn a little bit of extra ECR the first day and get it to silver, because it's such a, you need to be winning silver games. So if you have cards leveled, pretty substantially, at least into the 2s, and then you have, I've always on that account rented to win, not rented for power. So, I rent a leveled up Serpent of Eld for the blue team. I rent, some of the key cards you need on the other teams to help you win. And, that's what you're going to have to do now if you want to move up and you want to go forward, because the game's more about having the right cards to win as opposed to just grinding out the game like it used to be for some players. You really have to, focus on making it so you have teams that can win.
And I think Weirdbeard has a great comment in the chat, and it's something I'd mentioned on one of my videos as well, is there has to be a little bit of a resetting of expectations for what levels our decks can realistically play at. Because before, with all the bots and the casual play, and if you lost or you won, you really didn't care, you just queued up another battle.
Yeah,
that
100%.
made it so it was your rating was probably inflated over really what it should have been. Mm-hmm. Now, if you mention Rogue, you're all in. You're gun ho here. You're fighting tooth and nail, clawing for that win every battle, and everyone's doing that right now. So the level of competition and the level of focus, no pun intended, has ramped up quite a bit. So now, for example, if you maybe stretched into gold and you really have a silver deck, unless you rent or change something, your home really might be in silver, and that's not a bad thing. It's resetting expectations to say, hey, this is really where I should be playing, and then let's see how we maximize our strategy around doing well in that league level and maximizing the rewards. And I think that is what has to happen over time here. We kind of have to forget about the past and reevaluate where we are going forward.
Yeah, I think that was something that, like, somebody had mentioned. There are going to be a lot of people that made a lot of mistakes, because in the past it was beneficial to go to Silver 3, right? But if you ended a season in Silver 3, you got dropped all the way down to like maybe 500 on the ranking or something like that, like right above Novice. Like you're in Bronze, I don't know, 3 at that point, maybe.
Something like that.
And like you are grinding so long in Bronze at like negative progression, because like in my opinion, the way they have that algorithm set up, like you're cubing your rating, but like you don't get real gains until you get above 1,000. You know what I mean? So like there's going to be a lot of people that if they don't have, in my opinion, this is another take. If you cannot consistently have 70k collection power every day to be playing in Silver 1, you shouldn't be playing in Silver, because I don't know if you're going to get enough reward shares. Like what like that math is really interesting with the 1000 as the denominator. Like going from low silver at about that 1000 all the way up to 1899 is your rating at silver 1 max, right? That's a huge difference in the amount of points that you get. So if anybody ended their season in silver and is trying to get silver chests in silver 3, they're gonna struggle hard. So like,
I don't know.
That's first take. I just did it. You know what I mean?
Well,
I did the math
on what you're
yesterday.
trying to get, because like I said, I did it with my account and I grinded myself way up to silver. I only earned 3 chests, but typically a silver.
Yeah, but where are you at in silver right now?
I'm at my ranking's like 1100 now.
Yeah. So
no,
but that's where
11100, and I'm just going to stay at that. But I mean, I am going to get stuck at silver 3 rating because I don't have the power. But if I can earn 5 chests a day, that's a lot more than I used to.
So
let me know if you can. That's where
I think I will be able to.
So Rogue, in the Discord you posted the estimated chest value that Gank came up with. Do you think that's still accurate, or the bronze is like around 3 cents, silver around 7.5 cents?
I would say so. Yeah, since they took credits off the table, like I think you could absolutely.
So essentially, if those numbers are right, silver's chest is twice as much as bronze, gold is twice as much as silver. So I think essentially, if you're only earning 2 to 3 silver chests a day in silver, you're probably better off in going to bronze if you can get good wins. Because I think if you're actually winning well in your league, I'm producing more around 8 to 10 chests a day. So if you're getting 8 to 10 chests a day, even if they're bronze, that's still going to be better than 2 chests in silver.
And the big thing is going to be the season rewards. Like that's where at the end of the day, we're talking about everything right now, but like I'm tracking everything and we're going to do a total chest count at the end of first season, because that's where all the numbers are going to be. And then I'll look at like where I'm at and be like, all right, what would I have done if I'd have gone to gold end of season, not played in gold, but went to gold so that my silver ratings go to gold chests, to get that half value and all that. But honestly, I think that's just where a lot of the frustration is right now, is if you went into silver 3 for end of season rewards and had to play all the way back from bronze, you're grinding and not earning a lot. It's very frustrating.
Right. Well, and that's the problem, right? That's what I said earlier, is that there's no way out of it now. Because you either push back into silver to try to compete and see if you can earn those silver chests, and then that means next season you are sitting in bronze for the entire season, still trying to earn season silver chests. So you're like 3 weeks out at this point from being able to play in bronze and earn bronze chests. So I wish they had some kind of way to actually just be like, no, I made a mistake. Let me revert back. Right.
No, and this is something that like that was brought up, is essentially the expectation of playing in the league that is actually yours. Like, I think what we're going to find is that like there was a subgroup of people where it was basically silver tournament players and silver leaderboard players, right? They were isolated on their own, always fighting up at very top ranks. But like, I have a feeling now that the whole group is going to kind of form that same mentality. And we are going to find out that like, if you don't have silver cards, you might not want to be in silver, right? This is going to be a huge learning curve for everybody, because I committed. I've been on this podcast many times. I said, I am a bronze tournament player that plays ranked in silver. I might have to go to bronze in ranked at the end of all this. We'll find out. I'll have all the data and we'll definitely talk about it at the end of the season, but everyone's got to be patient, that it's brand new, and the old expectations, the old mindset is just wrong. Now we got to come up with a new way of doing things.
Yeah, there's definitely gonna be new strategies that you're going to find out here. Like, for example, maybe the focus is at the beginning of the season to burn your ECR and just focus on wins and not your daily focus, just to climb to get your rating up to what it should be. And then at that point, mid-season, then you shift over to more focused on the daily quests, because now your ratings are more secure, and then you're going to earn more chests overall. Optimizing that, I think, is going to be interesting to find out how best to do that.
Yeah.
In the past, I had always found, at least at the upper leagues, that it made sense not to play much on days 1, 2, 3, and 4, and to let people rank above you. and then go and play, because then you're that lower ranked guy beating people who are high enough to you to where you're getting 30 points per win. On the first day of the season yesterday, I was playing other players with max cards, and I was beating them, and I was consistently getting 10 points. So to me, that's why I didn't focus on just winning, and I focused on my daily, because I'm like, my rating's not going anywhere anyways. There's not enough people playing with a high enough rating to give me 30 points a win consistently. Out of 10 games, I'm going to play guys who are 400 points below me and only give me 10 points for a win, only 20 points if I'm on a win streak.
That's
so
amazing. Like that champion problem, like
so
upper diamond problem.
That's why for me, I don't think the right thing to do is ignore the daily on the first days. I think it's play your daily till your ECR is down into about 70, 75 at the most, earn that 7 to 8 chests like I did, and then come back the next day and do the same thing the next day. And then when all of a sudden you notice, hey, wins are giving me 30 points right now, it's time to switch over into win, and get 70-point wins on those 3 points, those 3-win streaks, and not bang your head against the wall trying these crazily hard winning games for very, very minimal rewards.
And so that's where like my strategy is actually right now. My strategy is to get to that 1899 rating like as quick as possible, right? But do it in a way that that is my focus. It's a win rate, so that way I can get to that rating, because then once I'm there, all my wins will be the same. From there, I will be able to get the gains and everything that I need to from that point. Everything up to now is just, it's not yielding the same amount of points as it will when I get to that rating, right? So like if I wasted time today, like my rating's at 1400, right? And if I wasted time today not focusing on winning every single match that I can and focusing on like my daily and spamming a splinter that like gives me a 50% win rate, then I'm not getting to that max rank as quick as possible. You know what I mean?
Well, but you should never do that. You should never spam a team to a 50% win rate, no matter what your focus is. If it has no chance at winning, don't play it.
I mean, that's essentially what the complaint is, in my opinion.
Well, I think the challenge is everyone's going to be in different spots. Like for me, like for example, I'll give you a real world example. Like yesterday, I had Earth as a daily focus. I have one summoner leveled for Diamond, and that's Obsidian. So if I spam Obsidian, and I don't use magic, I'm probably not going to win, right? And then my win rate was terrible, and I'm going against seriously tough competition. So for me, it just didn't make sense to just futilely spam Earth just to get the daily focus. But if I had something like a Prince Renan or a Myler also leveled up, then I'd have more options. So maybe for me, I would need to look at, if I wanted to spam Earth in that particular case, maybe rent some summoners. But again, I think depending on what deck you have, what daily focus you have, everyone's going to have a different path or optimal journey. I think it's as us as content creators to try and find some of these strategies and communicate them to the community based on what people might have to work with, because there's going to be kind of general assumptions you can make and say, okay, if you're looking at this, maybe you should try doing this. And we're all going to find it out together, right? There's going to be some discovery here, it should be exciting. It shouldn't necessarily all be frustrating. You just have to, again, set the proper expectations. We're not going to figure this puzzle out all in the first 24 hours. And that's what makes it a little bit fun too, right?
Yeah, I think that's a good and healthy thing, that there could be multiple strategies that we can all sit here and debate. And realistically,
there will be, right?
Hopefully there is 2, 3, 4, 5 strategies. I mean, what you just said, Cryptmancer, is what I've been doing. I'm actually against what Rogue you're saying. I'm literally spamming my focus over and over and over again, because what I'm doing is I know it's a guarantee that they're going to allow me to use that deck. Well, guess what? I can go rent 100 DEC worth of cards. Now I have 3, 4 different Dragon Summoners to use. Dragon's the most versatile, so that one's a little bit of an easier example. But my point is, you can rent the most OP and 2 to 3 different strategies, even if it's Earth. You can get the Obsidian Llama Llama deck.
Yeah, but what you did yesterday might not work going forward.
Yeah,
because there's a point the chat's making. Those summoners are getting expensive.
Sure,
the demand is getting nuts.
But
it could, that isn't always going to work. But
it doesn't have to be the legendary though. Like even just renting a level 4 Daria today, like was 10 DEC. Like it's not that crazy.
Yeah, you're right. So, I mean, I do think that renting the good cards for your focus and then winning in your focus makes sense. I know I knew that winning was going to be a lot more important. So that's why I showed you those cards I bought last week, because I said, fine, I need a Lorena that's maxed. I need a Milo that's maxed. And if I want to win Earthquake, I have to have that stupid summoner that makes everyone fly. Yeah. So I bought those 3 summoners because I just ran into certain matches where I'm like, I know that summoner's coming and I could not beat them. There was like nothing I could do to beat those cards. So I just bought them. And I know not everyone can do that, but it's one of those things where you have to judge. What do you want to do? Do you want to have the right cards to win all the time, make super rewards? Or are you comfortable with earning maybe 4 chests a day in silver because, hey, it's 2 more than before?
Yeah. Well, and I almost don't want to say my strategy because then everyone's going to beat me to it. But this is why a couple days ago, I don't have, a bunch to go buy, a level 6 Lorna for gold play, right? But I've been putting in Peak Monster auto bids, and you can grab, like, my deck is really built for silver. I have a couple gold level 5 summoners, and I'm just perma-renting auto bids, Peak Monsters. You can find gold level cards leveled up that are half the price that you'll find on the market, right? So like I can get the Cursed Wendeku level 5 that has healing. I can get the Deep Lurker level 6 with now poison for just a couple DEC a day. And now that the rewards seem to be quite a bit higher, I'm totally fine renting, 100 plus DEC a day. And I think it's coming back well worth it.
Yeah, no, that makes sense to me. And also, hopefully if you're one of those players at the bottom league, you're doing those share your battle posts, you're doing those social media posts, and put that money back into the game, put that liquid rewards into DEC for renting and for helping things out, because the game is going to be more enjoyable if you're winning. That's just the way it is. And it's going to be more rewarding now too.
Yeah. And since we have Weirdbeard in the chat, it's something that I've been wanting to, bring up, and I'm sure this is probably something that's being looked at, but, as a new player, one of the challenges in playing in bronze or silver even is it's kind of like rock, paper, scissors a little bit. You don't have a lot of abilities. The mana caps are low. And if people are renting Mylor or Llama or some of these other cards, it can feel like you're just getting smashed left and right. And if we had for new players the ability to go into a tournament where you had preset decks, like if I was a new player, like in the first 30 days, I had the ability every day to enter a gold level tournament where the whole decks were unlocked, where I could see the abilities and see the higher manas. For me, that would be a great experience, because as a new player, then I'm not necessarily so focused on ranked battles. I'm focused on just understanding the cards, the abilities, how to play the game. And that will get me to come into the game and, invest and buy cards in the future that'll, push my path down the rank rewards and ultimately the Splinterlands journey. And I think right now we don't have an easy way for new players, to really experience the game as it should be experienced at the higher levels. So hopefully that's coming, Weirdbeard. It's something like that where new players can really see. It's kind of like if I'm a car buyer, right? If I'm not going to go out and buy, a 1980 Yugo, I'm not going to have a lot of fun as a new driver. But if I can test drive, that BMW just for a day, that's going to be fun. So something like that, I think, would be something that would be helpful for new players longer term for the game.
Do you think gold is a little too high?
Hey, you know what?
I think it has to be in all leagues.
If you want to get someone hooked, you got to show them the goods, right? I mean, it's only like a 30-day limit, maybe, that you.
I think
that's for.
Yeah, I think that's one of the struggle of the legendary summoners too. It's like I get why they're in the game, but like I also. It's a love-hate, right? It's like when you get to use them, it's like, oh, you love them. Except for when you get smashed by them and every single day. And I don't think they're as powerful in Gold and Champion. I don't play in Diamond, but I'm guessing, they're not quite as powerful, or most people can match them. But down in Bronze or Silver, those 3, Kitty, Yodin, and Llama, it just feels bad to get crushed by them all day long. So I kind of like that they actually went with 6 mana Legendary Summoner now that we saw the Life Summoner stats. And I actually kind of hope that they're not as powerful as the previous legendary summoners, at least those 3, because I feel like it really does make that beginner play, as you're saying, Cryptmaster. You can see people or bots or whoever it is spamming them over and over and over again. And yes, even in the Modern League, we're still going to have those 3 legendary summoners for the next, 6 to 8 months whenever the new set comes out. But eventually they're going to be gone from the Modern format. Eventually, fingers crossed.
It's not going to be for a long time.
Yeah.
And these new ones are going to be strong. I mean, that life one, void armor for the team for life. I mean,
It's strong, but I don't look at it and be like, that's Jotun Llama strong.
oh, I think that defeats Yoda. No,
well,
joke.
giving them
That
all
just-
armor too.
I mean,
Yeah.
at least okay. One of the problems is we all have different references for what card do. But you're talking about giving my shield bearer that already reflects damage void armor instead of regular armor. So
Oh, and again, I'm talking more silver bronze area.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I
I
think that's where a lot of the complaints I think were on Grandmaster Wraith is that at the champion level, there's a lot of cards with Return Fire, Magic Reflect, and Thorns. Lord A, Almo, just a ton, just like literally in the neutrals alone, there's probably like a dozen. But if you're at silver or bronze, those aren't abilities that you have access to. Now, if you bring a Jotun at silver or bronze, that blast just dominates. It doesn't matter.
yeah.
But now with Grandmaster Wraith, really you're basically getting a Lorna Shine essentially for a legendary summoner, which is not as probably dominating, which I understand. It's a really good card. It's just it excels probably at the higher levels, honestly.
Yeah, honestly, I can tell you as someone who plays at champion level, that summoner to me takes life from being like on kind of the lower end tier to being literally one of the top teams. Like because already the shield bearer in last position as a back row taunt with like a unicorn or a Uriel as your big striker that can't be attacked, and then you put triages and repairs, so you're healing him in the back position as he's taking in all the damage, and now you give him void armor too, so that the one weakness to stop that was if the other team played a lot of mages, and now it doesn't work anymore. So that deck is going to be ridiculous.
Sorry, y'all. I just got a pop up that Rogue Patton is fighting my team in a tournament.
Oh, dude, go
I'm
check
pretty
it
sure I
out.
got smashed in it because I remember hitting play, and I'm pretty sure I messed
Nah,
up
you're
the
good,
rule
bro.
set.
You're good, bro.
I don't know. We'll see. Sorry, this is not gonna go. Oh my gosh, you suck. I hate you.
That's what we call a punt, buddy.
What in the world? You just played him? You gave him a win?
For those who
yeah.
are listening to audio only, Rogue is feels bad for the last couple times he's beaten me and just gave me a free win.
Yes and no. No, second round I'm actually already at 8 losses, so I can't podium here. Like there's no reason for me to snipe a win from you. This is one of those
It's
like
about pride, Rogue.
I
Where's
know,
your
buddy,
pride?
but like tournament strategy, like when you're with teammates and all that stuff, like this is like totally one of those things you do where you're
That
like,
was
all
one
right,
of the most reverse fame or shames I've ever seen.
the one Chaos Agent in a 60 mana battle at that.
yeah,
too.
60 mana battle. I went Bright and Bloom Chaos Agent, and I'm curious how many times you missed before you got him. That's
It
what
was an instant because I think it was Crawless with the magic damage just instantly popped it.
Started it.
It's okay. I would have won anyways. Thank you though. Anyways, I don't
welcome,
even remember what we're talking about now because you completely distracted us.
You just got caught win trading. You won't be allowed to play Luke
Oh,
anymore.
Weird
okay.
Beard's in the chat. He
We're
saw
in the
it.
chat. He's
Yeah.
documenting this
Yeah.
infraction.
Oh no,
Oh my gosh.
you're gonna get me.
I do have to admit though, Jotun in anything other than champion is quite deadly, and I remembered that finally. So like I played a gold tournament, and I'm like, let me just use Jotun a lot. And hey, I made day 2 finally in gold because gold is like my weakest league
Right.
for sure.
Well, and I think that's the thing moving forward, right? The game is clearly in ranked mode a lot more competitive, which is awesome because now you can rent, now you can purchase cards, you can build your own strategies, and it's meaningful. The flip side is, as we just said, for me, it's easy to know what to go rent in bronze and smash my way in my alt account in bronze and earn 15 chests a day. For a completely new player, probably not. They're
I don't know,
I
though,
think they're going to
because-
need instruction. They're going to need help to get started.
Is it like, I mean, I played through the new player experience not that long ago, and I had to get my butt kicked for like 2 days running into the same bots, running the same teams. And then I sat there and I analyzed and I figured out what I needed, and I made sure I had those cards, and then I beat them. And after that, it got quite easy to win in bronze. Now, I'm an experienced player and an experienced card player in general, so maybe that's why I'm able to do that faster than somebody else. But most people who come to Splinterlands, hopefully they played a TCG before. Hopefully they understand the basics of how a card game would work. And what's the easiest thing to do in all sports? Mimicry. All right, of all games. If you can't beat them, just play the exact same thing, and at least you'll win half the time. So,
well, and maybe that's the thing, right? It's just like, now we need to say this game isn't for everyone, which is what it should be. It should be for those who want to play competitive TCG, right? That's the goal.
Ish. And that's where, like, okay, like my competitive heart says, yeah, like, come ready to play or like get out. But all successful trading card games have a kitchen table element to them. The majority, like competitive Magic the Gathering players, don't keep the doors open for Magic the Gathering. You know what I mean? It's the people that like casually play with their friends at like the kitchen table or like literally build a deck at work that'll never step foot in an LGS or like play in any tournaments. You know what I mean? So like there is that aspect that does need to be like quenched in this game somehow. Like the casual player should exist, I guess. Maybe, I don't know. As I'm saying this live, maybe not, because like there's the whole play to earn. So can you ever be casual in a play to earn game?
I don't think so. Not
you can't, can you?
No, not if you want to come in the play to earn world. You got to be willing to invest and get your card to a certain level. I mean, I think about as casual as you could be is just be like, you know what? I don't have any push to get higher than the level 2 summoners. I'm just going to chill down here in bronze. I'm going to collect my chests. I'm going to play with my buddy. The problem is the player base
my buddy part.
It isn't like big enough. There's not as the system isn't really integrated yet to really play against each other in casual mode. No one wants to play practice because we all want to earn every match that we play. And technically you earn when you lose, even in this game, right? So, they could do some things maybe to make casual a little bit more rewarding to us somehow. Maybe do something to let people play in the practice mode that doesn't hurt your rank, so that because I know when I've accidentally hit the play practice mode, have you ever done that? You never get a match.
No.
Nobody else is pressing the button.
No. Well,
That's
and
hilarious.
I think in the way down feature, they've talked about things like boss fights and maybe different modes, and that could be a thing to be a little bit more casual. But if you're talking about ranked plays, especially now that these rewards are so meaningful, yeah, I think it's hard to go back now and say, well, everyone should just be able to instantly get them without trying. It's like, if you want to get rewarded, you should have to put some kind of effort in, at least for rank play. And maybe that's the case where they need a different mode down the future to bring in more of that casual player, like you're saying, Rogue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we need to look at what Splinterlands has done. They basically fine-tuned the economy and plugged holes and basically said, look, we are focusing on a play and earn game with, pretty advanced strategy when we really look under the covers here at the mechanics. And this is not Raid Shadow Legends. This is not a model where you can just come on in and play on your phone. Well, it's not the same audience, honestly. And what's going to bring interested parties to the game is not necessarily that type of play, but it's going to be content creators on YouTube or on Twitch showing what they're winning on an end of season level, what it's worth, what they're doing with the assets, maybe seeing the esports start to spread its wings and soar and get more coverage there, because that dovetails into the whole play and earned kind of philosophy. And with the starter cards gone, this is the new reality, and we have to kind of make sure that we're setting the right expectations for new players coming into the game, so that otherwise you're gonna have someone sign up for the game and within 5 minutes never come back, basically, because they're not gonna really understand the experience or want the experience.
Yeah, and I think in your video today, wasn't it like there's only like 60 spell books a day being sold right now? And you're just like, whoa, that is crazy low. But at the same time, I think we need to frame this update not in the sense of like this was supposed to fix everything for new players. This was supposed to fix the economy and reward structure, which we're clearly seeing doing it right because card prices have gone up. The rental market for good cards is getting more competitive, so people actually want to be competitive. So for existing players, I think this solves a lot of things. It's not perfect, but it wasn't supposed to be perfect day one. So I think if we frame it in that sense, they still need to do other things that we can address and talk about later for newer players. But as far as fixing things for existing players right now, I feel like they did a really good job for the initial launch of the first couple days, and they can continue to improve upon things as we move forward. So that's my take on it, at least.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. I think one of the things that somebody needs to make out there is like an auto buy tool that you can offer to players, because it would be nice if you could just go into, say, like Peak Monsters or someone and be like, I want a competitive level 2 life team. How much would that cost me? And then just be able to go like, oh, here you go. This would cost you about, $60, and we'll give you a level 2 summoner, all the right level 2 rares
Buy
that are
the deck.
popular. Yeah, just buy the deck.
You can do it on Peak Monsters today already with the sets. You can sell sets on Peak Monsters.
Yeah, you can sell sets, but you can't go buy.
But you have to put them together, right?
Yes.
To sell them. So that means a player has to like do that work for you. As opposed to just going into the market and being like, this is what it would cost for you right now to go ahead and just, buy off the market a good level 2 Kelia deck, a good level 2 Obsidian deck.
Yeah, I think Peak Monsters will do it eventually. They've been talking about it.
Yep, they've said PKM maybe as an option to get access to that kind of a feature in the future, perhaps.
Yeah.
Where content creators or other
then Splinterlands needs to give everybody some PKM, because that would be a great feature for new players to have.
Yeah, I see people in the chat talking about the renting market. Cryptmancer, I think that was part of
his
your
whole video
today.
covered that. Amazing.
Yeah, what was kind of maybe kick off the conversation, since you already did a video on it.
Yeah, so what was interesting, so I think Steve as well participates in the Rent Golem, which is an automated bot for renting spare cards. And I mean, it was crazy. This last end of season, I think the APRs or APYs were like, 300, almost 400% on cards, which is insanity. Like, I didn't rent much out, but I think I got like 18,000 DEC for renting just, bare minimum amount of cards, because I had to climb to champion, so I had to keep all my CP. And it was insanity. I don't know, Steve, if you had good results as well, but it was record breaking, honestly.
My earnings went up from like making a couple thousand DEC a day to making 7,000 for the last few days.
Oh my gosh.
So
but that
those
changed, right?
those aren't even my good cards. I'm not like renting out my maximum cards. I have a bunch of extra cards that I've moved over to a separate account just to rent out, and they're mostly like they're rewards cards that I've leveled up to 4 or 6, and a few other cards. Like, well, I've just been buying O'Shaughnessy's, right? So I just move them all over there and they get rented out. I've been buying all the $2 legendaries, but for some reason they all just blew up like crazy. And then it does have my gold legendaries. So all my gold legendaries I pulled from my packs I've opened, I put over there to be rented out, because I don't play gold cards. I just play regular cards. But yeah, the rental market went wild over the last couple of days.
And then
I think it died. It has come back down, but I think it's because a lot of people knew that those rewards chests were going to have the new cards, and so they wanted that big end of season flip to get all those new cards.
Yeah, but I guess so. Like this is my big question. Why I understand all the data says that we shifted from renting for CP to renting good cards, right? Like some of the cards on the market you can't even find right now. They're like just scarce. You know what I mean? Especially higher levels if you're trying to play at the higher levels. But why is CP still not needed? Like, why are these bot farms still not needing CP? Like, because my argument is that at 15,000 collection power in Silver 3, like, you're not going to get near the awards that you will at 70,000 CP in Silver 1. You know what I mean? So, like, I don't think the dynamic has changed too much. I just don't know if people have realized it yet.
Well, I think we need to see what the bots do in the next couple days, because I have a feeling that many of the larger farms have not adjusted to the changes. And I'm probably just waiting to see the reward structure and the payouts and stuff like that. And we'll see what happens. So the first 24, 48 hours, I wouldn't put too much faith in that to say this is the way the rental market's going to be moving forward.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens. But when you go into the market and you see the the trigger of the floor on peak monsters being hit when you can rent 2,500 CP for DEC because that's as far down as it'll take right now. That's crazy. So,
well, I'm
know,
guessing it's because a lot of bot owners just turn their stuff off.
sure,
Right. I mean, because I know the bot service that I use, they're furiously working on trying to figure out how to optimize the bots for the daily focus, because it was never designed to do that before. It would just like casually complete your quest because, you know, that team or that snipe or sneak or whatever would just get done eventually. I mean, it would like, it kind of would try to do it, but it wouldn't try to play the same team over and over again. So they're trying to adjust theirs. They're trying to fix theirs. And like those two accounts did terrible their first day. So I'm like I have to go play them manually. I don't have time to play 4 accounts, but it's kind of an interesting thing. But I do think that it's a paradigm shift, because you can't do what you used to do. You can't play two good teams and just rent the cheapest CP that you need to get to silver 3. It's just not going to get it done. You're not going to see that same return because you're not going to get the daily focus on one of those teams. You can't win consistently. You're going to get lots of losses. You're not going to earn lots of season chests. So that, and there's a lot of people that used to play that way. Be like, hey, I'm going to rent like 1 really good team or 2 really good teams, and then I'm just going to rent the cheapest cards that I can to get me into silver, or the cheapest cards that I can to get into gold. And that kind of play just does not, it's not going to like, you're going to be very frustrated because it's just not going to work the way it used to.
Well, and I think that, it's definitely the bots probably that control most of the rental prices, if we're being honest. And maybe some of them, as you guys said, haven't been back on yet, but maybe some of them are now deciding to stick in bronze, as you're saying, Steve. Maybe they can win more there, and so they don't actually need the card power anymore. They already have the bronze card power that they need.
Really might,
and then for players, I think right now, it's one of those things with the win percentage meaning so much. It's like, why would I go rent cheap card power with the cards I'm not going to use?
Exactly.
Like, I'm willing to pay twice as much for my card rentals to get 50,000 power of gold level cards that I'm going to use to get me into gold 1 versus, I'm just going to rent 50,000 card power for, 5 DEC. So I think that's part of it too, is like, if you're going to go for card power, might as well grab some cards that are actually going to help you win as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, the whole mindset's changed, and so that's where I'm just like, I'm waiting to find out if I am right, if there is more, like, that's the big question. Is there more rewards to be had renting to get into the level 3 of whatever you're playing in? You know what I mean? And at these rates, I would imagine that like anybody could do it. You know what I mean? Like, I've never seen CP go for as cheap as it is today. Like, you could absolutely rent into gold 3, silver 3, whatever rank that you're playing in.
But you'll have to be able to win. If you can't win, it doesn't matter that you have that power.
I mean, I guess that's what, but like the argument then is like, what? Like, do you think, here you go. Good question. Do you think it's easier to win in silver 3 than silver 1 right now?
Yeah.
Do you think it'll be easier to win in silver 3 than silver 1 in 3 days?
Yeah.
Barely. Not a ton.
No, because when you play in silver 3, you're going to run into a lot of people with level 4 summoners. When you're playing in silver 1, you almost never see that.
Yeah, but like as the game progresses, this is where like, so like old meta, right, or old way of doing things, the level 4 silver players, they'd take like the top 200 spots on the board, and they'd have by end of season, they'd be like 3,000 some up in ranking. You know what I mean? So there was this whole range between 1899 and like 2,800 that was chill. You know, it wasn't max silver decks. And so like that'll be like the big question is like, over the days, is there still going to be that big of a push to where we're going to get those high of rankings, that there's still a window between 1899 and where the level 4 decks are playing, to where you can optimize rewards and still get wins, at the max silver rating. You know what I mean?
Well, did the level 4s go to gold last season? Do you know? Were you paying enough attention?
So a lot of the leaderboard, what I've been noticing, hasn't moved around too much. At least like the top level players that were playing for silver and bronze.
Yeah,
are
that
still
makes
playing
sense.
For silver and bronze.
I guess because like if you went to gold last season to get the gold season rewards, if you had level 4 decks and you went and decided to go play in gold at the end of the season, you're gonna need to go to gold to get a good amount of gold chests. And so they're going to be gone. So I still think that
we'll find out. We'll find out. That's one of the data points that I'm looking at is I'm tracking all of my points over the season, and I'm going to make a judgment call at the very end because like my points won't change. If I push into gold end of season, it's not because I'm going to play in gold. It's because I want gold chests. And I will have a number at the end of this season that says I got this many points with the strategy that I implemented. This is how many silver chests it got me, but because of all the charts and data that we have, I will know exactly how many gold chests I could have gotten with the same strategy. And if there is a world where that number is anywhere greater than 50% of the silver chests that I got, then my new strategy next season will be pushing into gold and then playing my entire season in silver. Like there is a world where we do that. The top silver players, the leaderboard silver players, they might do that. But then there's also still
why not just rent gold level cards?
Dude, have you seen the market, man?
Yeah, I'm living it. That's what I'm doing, right? Like
renting,
Glenn in the chat says he was one of those silver players, went to gold, and he moved himself just back into gold now. He's not going to hang out in silver.
Okay.
So. Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. Wherever you made it last season, you're going to have to try to get back to there again, or you're not going to earn good rewards because your rating doesn't matter if you're not earning the right chests, just because the amount of points that you start with based on the chests, it's like 133 in bronze, 1,000 in silver. Yeah. It's 1,000 in silver, and then what is it, like 3,000 in gold or something? No, it's even more, huh?
No, it's less. Like 3,000 puts you in the diamond. Gold is 28.
Yeah.
No, because in diamond you're earning each one. I'm earning 30,000 points.
Well, it's because it's cubed, but like when you look at I'll bring it up here real quick. Yeah, when you look at leagues,
I thought it was a 3x each one.
The max gold rating is 2,799. That's the max.
I'm talking about the base points that they give you for winning the match. You get your rating cubed plus a base amount of points. Plus other bonuses.
I thought it was just 1,000.
There's no base amount.
I think it's just divided by.
It's rating cube divided by 1,000.
Yeah.
Plus bonuses.
Well,
minus shadow cards.
While you're looking that up, I think something that's going to be interesting to test. I think there is a world. Right now, I'm talking on my butt because I haven't tested it. But I think
aren't we all, dude?
My alt account, yeah. On my alt account, I literally think it's possible with the 8 times DEC bonus in gold that there is potential one-day rental strategies where you just rent a gold level deck, and if you're good at the game, obviously I play in gold, so I can do it, right? That I think there's enough DEC per win and in the chest that you'd get back to make back all of your rentals and more. Of course, if that's true, maybe the rental market keeps going up for really good cards and makes it even harder. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Whew. It's gonna be spicy. I don't know. It's spicy. It's still spicy.
That's what I mean.
There's so much to figure out.
It's all speculation until we get done with this first season, and we figure out how everything landed. And especially here in the first couple days, I'd be very curious to see if anybody is at their max rating already. Like we're 30.
No, I'm only at 2,400 gold 2.
Yeah, so I'm at silver 2. I'm at 1533, and I started at 900, and I've still got a couple 300 more till I get to that 1899 that I'm aiming for.
Yeah, maybe I misstated it a little bit, but looking at the table that they give you for average R shares per win, it says bronze is 166, silver is 3,048, gold is 12,977, diamond is 34,000, and champion is 71,000. And that's why you have to make it back. And then the chest amounts go up by 3, 5, 18, 43, 90. So that's why you have to make it back to where you were if you want to earn a good amount of chest. Because if not, literally while I'm playing in Diamond, I'm earning less than half of what I would on average in Champion. And it's even more dramatic at the lower levels, because if silver is 3,000 and gold and average RC point is 12,000, you're talking about 4 times more points for playing in gold.
Yeah, but
So-
the way that the chests are scaled, you know what I mean, is like it'll get harder as we go.
Well, yeah.
So it's not a linear trend. So like
Right.
the argument is if the gold chest is worth twice as much as the silver chest.
It's worth 4 times as much points
No.
wise, though. Wins in gold.
Sure,
yes,
sure.
yes, correct. But if there's a world where like I would get half as many chests in gold than I would in silver, then by playing in silver, I would still push to gold.
Yeah.
And so
I see-
that's
I
where
see
the
what you're saying.
scale that's where the scale comes in, because it's like when you start the season, chests are really easy, right? So like sure, maybe I'm only getting 1 gold chest a day, right? And maybe I end like my season and I've got like 30 gold chests, right? But if my season in silver ended with anything less than 60, it was more beneficial for me to be in gold. And so that's what I mean is at the end of this season, I will have a number. I will have the amount of R shares that I earned. And I can literally take it right to the graph and be like, this is how many it was in silver, and literally go to gold and chase it up and be like, okay, it was this amount of gold chests, and I will be able to make my decision then. Like,
I think I would do it more like 60-40, because you have a higher that bonus to legendary cards. I think over time it would be worth it to roll the dice, because you're going to pull
estimated
those
value,
legendary
though,
cards.
based on what Gank is saying, I don't know where he pulled these numbers from. Is it a silver and a gold chest is essentially worth double of the previous league? So I don't know if those are accurate and if we can get a tool. I know Splinter Card's tool isn't up right now, but I mean, essentially, Cryptmancer, you're becoming the numbers guy. So why don't you just put it all in one video and tell us all the answers?
yeah, tell us what to do.
I did do a video talking about the chest values, and I know my values are different than Gank's, which are different than Neil's. I think everyone's calculating them differently, but I do think the values are, depending on how you use the math, could vary. And I had to actually have multiple conversations with Yabot Matt on Splinterlands TV chat just to get clarifications on the gold foil and legendary drop bonuses. So I honestly think that Neil and Gank's numbers for at least the champion chests are undervalued, because I don't know if they're taking into account those specific details that Matt clarified, but that's neither here nor there. I think what's interesting is, going back to your point, Rogue, is I think everyone's journey is going to be a little bit different. So if you're a player where you're not stretching like into the next level, like you're not trying to get back into like, Diamond 3 from gold, like where you can actually play at Diamond 1, your journey is going to be different. Because again, remember, a loss at champion, if you're in Diamond, is 0 times whatever. It's still 0. So you still have to win at the higher levels to get the benefits of those reward share points, those extra points. So there has to be a balance where you have that intersection of that graph that you were talking about, Rogue, where you have the value of the chests are such where the win, even if I have a decrease in the win rate, still makes it more profitable for me over time to play at this level. And everyone's going to have a different curve intersection point based on their skill level and their deck capabilities, either what they own or what they rent. And that's what's interesting about this, because everyone's scenario is going to be a little bit different on where you play or where you can play successfully and where that intersects. And that's where the strategies, there's going to be multiple strategies. There's not going to be a 100% right way to tackle this. Everyone's going to have probably an optimal point based on where they're at in the game. And I think that's what's going to be interesting, is to kind of have these kind of personas, if you can call them that, where, people have to kind of evaluate at what level can I win at, let's say, 60% win rate clip, and at what level can I win at, let's say, a 40% win rate clip, and then use those personas to dial in where they can best maximize their profits. And we'll get there. We'll get to those charts, I think, in time.
Yeah, this is perfectly said. This is a personal journey. Everybody in Splinterlands is on a personal journey. and there is no there's no one way to do it, and that's the beautiful thing about our game. There are people that play this game without hitting the battle button. Like take that with you to the bank. You know what I mean? There are people that are like, yeah, I'm a Splinterlands like person, and they literally never hit the battle button. They just own cards and rent and do, I don't know, whatever. You know?
Yeah. Well, and I think that's my advice then is like, okay, like I think some people are overreacting in the negative side. I think we're all pretty positive about the changes so far, but there's some people
except for
like,
the app. I am with the chat.
Well,
on the
yeah.
app.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure. 100%.
Like,
We can talk about
which
that.
sucks. I literally brought it up on my show Monday night. I was like, I am most concerned if I log into my app and it's like all butchered and I can't tell what I'm
butchered,
doing.
100%.
And so I did. I was like, oh.
Yeah,
But
I
it
don't even
actually
use
fits.
mobile. It's terrible.
It fits super well with my strategy of ignoring the focus. Pretend it isn't there. The app's like, you got it, buddy. We're just gonna like, you're not gonna see anything. And I'm like, perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
app.
I do agree with the chat. Mobile needs to be on point. It's really the next thing they needed to do, but they had to make this change because the bots were just taking too much value out of the economy, and card values weren't going to go back up. We needed this change, and so I think that's why all of us are mostly positive, because it's like they need to fix the daily focus. Is the grind on the first day a little too hard? So they need to maybe do a little bonus on the first 2 days of the season to how many points we earn. Is there some little tweaks that they could do to make it a little bit more enjoyable here and there? And also, I think we should start one of the first governance votes I want to do is make bronze fun. None of this, no more of this 20 mana crap. Let them have 40 and 50 mana matches. What the hell is that?
True. It's really true.
I mean, you literally have all these amazing 11 cost cards in the game, and you're like, well, you shouldn't even rent those because you'll never be able to play them.
Never in bronze. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a lot we could talk about there. And I think that's where it's like, if you had your expectations too high, I think that's where people maybe are kind of rubbed the wrong way, because I understand, right? It's like we were all super excited to try out something new. Well, guess what? Day one of a season is always going to be the hardest. Guess what? They never said things are going to be perfect day one or season one. Like, I'm expecting like tweets to come out for the next 2 to 3 months on all these things and to continue to make changes. So I think just give it some time for one, the team to make changes, and two, for yourself to learn to know what the strategy is best for yourself. But none of us have it figured out. I think that's a fun thing that we're debating here tonight. It's like, okay, we're all talking like we know what we're doing, and we really don't know what we're doing.
One of the crazy things, too, is since we're all in, like, different leagues, and we all have, like, a different way that we play.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny when you get us all together, you know?
Yeah.
I think
that's what I love.
I play champion, you play bronze
silver.
and silver, you play silver and gold, Luke?
Gold, and then my alt accounts in bronze.
And then where are you at? You play champion too, right?
Yeah, I made it to champion for the first time this season. I usually play
that's what you were
diamond.
saying.
Ooh,
Yeah.
you went ahead and did it, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, great time to do it, buddy. Congratulations on
Trial
that
by
mile
fire.
marker.
Trial by fire. And here's the great thing about what you just said, going back to your point, is this rank reward system is enough content for us to chew on and digest here for probably a good 2 months or so before we kind of get to a good level of maturity. But guess what? We could have modern and wild dropped on us potentially next season, and there's a lot coming quickly. Yeah, it's coming fast.
Do you think that's going to help new players or hurt new players?
Help.
I think it's going to help. I think it's going to help.
I know it'll help with the power thing, and that you can make it into higher leagues and stuff like that with less.
Ish, I heard they weren't doing that anymore.
I thought they were still planning to do half.
When did they say that?
They never said they weren't.
Come on, bro. Don't lie to me.
My bad. Sorry.
I mean, to my knowledge, all be half. I'm just wondering because Modern doesn't get rid of the Jotun problem. It doesn't get rid of Llama Craw.
Exactly.
It doesn't get rid of any of those.
That's still going to be a problem for months to come. But I think what it does, I don't know. Obviously, none of us know what's going to happen for rewards and how the things are going to shape out to be. Is it going to be better to play in Wild or Modern? But for all new players, my advice is always going to be go play in Modern, because you have to deal with half the amount of cards. Like, for a new player, absorbing the ridiculous and just pure number of cards and stats and abilities that there are out there right now, it's a lot to take in. So I think just for that part of the game, it makes it simpler. I don't know about rewards.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm debating moving all of my wild cards to the rental account and just playing modern on my main account, because I have almost every card in modern maxed out that's important. There's a couple that I don't, but I don't think they're as important cards, and then I wouldn't have to fight the beta summoners anymore that I hate with a passion. So that's what I'm thinking about doing, and then just leaving those other summoners sitting over there, my regular beta summoners that are max level, just let people rent them out, and then when land comes out, bring them back to me to go work the land.
Yeah, and I think that's a concept that really hasn't been touched upon a lot, Steve, because we haven't gotten there yet. But the whole concept of price appreciation as it comes to wild format cards, either from a card value perspective or a rental perspective, there's definitely a gap there. And when the modern and wild reward pools split, it'll be interesting to see if there's a resurgence in the value of some of those wild cards, if there is enough delta to make it worthwhile to rent or to buy some of those cards to compete. I'm very curious to see what the player split is going to be, and to see if, like for example, if I'm in gold in the modern league and I'm making only from a DEC perspective 10 DEC per win, but if I switch over to gold in the wild format and I can make 70 DEC per win, is that enough to motivate people to come over and to not only just play in the wild, but also to rent cards to make them win?
I don't think it would ever be that big. There's a big enough bot environment in the Splinterland system that would be an obvious arbitrage situation where they would just figure that out. I mean, it might be a little bit more in one, like maybe like 10 in one, 15 in the other. I don't see it being 10 and 70.
Well,
I could be wrong, but I don't see that happening.
It's really interesting. I don't know if you guys noticed, but like when the reward changes went live for only DEC last week, I was getting a frick ton of DEC per win, and now it's almost half of what it was last week. And I'm like, what happened to my DEC?
The bots rented cards, dude.
I guess. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I was like, this is freaking amazing. And then it's like, oh, well, that didn't last long.
Well, I'm almost wondering like how much of that plays into, because like this was my biggest question with all of this is like, okay, we increased the amount of chests that we were gonna get, right? Everybody's supposed to be getting way more chests. Everybody's getting DEC bumps in the chests, like in the upper leagues. I'm like, what does that do to the reward pool? Like the chests are filled with the reward pool, right?
No, they're separate. So Matt clarified on Splinterland's TV stream that the DEC reward pool that you get for winning battles is one pool. The loot chest or the daily focus chest is totally separate. It doesn't come out of the structured burn or budgeted burn for DEC. So,
yeah, and I think he mentioned that they're just comfortable with adding this inflation to it at this point. Of DEC, because DEC is back down to peg. They're back to letting you buy packs with it. So I don't think they're worried about extra DEC coming into the marketplace at this point.
Okay, that makes sense. Honestly, though, I need to highlight this thing real quick. Wolfshire just said a 2 Splinter summoner. Have you guys ever thought about that? Like a split Splinter card, like someone that could be played in both, but not like a neutral. Like, oh, that would be amazing. Like they could do a whole set like that is right up Magic the Gathering's alley, where they've done that before. But oh my goodness, sorry, I had to highlight that. That's an amazing concept.
Yeah, that would be a cool idea. We need what is that? What's the site again, guys? Where you got to put Splinterlands.com. We got to go all upvote that we want a set to come out that has
Steve, go vote it with your validator, big SPS bank.
Come on, not. Steve. It doesn't count yet. I refuse to vote until I get a weighted vote. I'm actually boycotting voting. I'm like, I'm not going to vote for one when I have literally like 290,000 SPS staked, and I get the same vote as Luke.
Yeah. Hey, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Slowly but surely.
I don't want to vote. I
More-
need the same as Luke.
If Rogue just keeps win trading me in these tournaments, I might actually have a decent sized pool.
Dude,
with
I should have
SPS.
honestly looked. Like, you were sucking in that tournament, too. I should have stomped you. I didn't even look. Like, after I did that, I was like, oh my goodness, we're both 12-8 now. And I'm like, well, I should have stomped him.
Well,
I should have looked
besides that,
before I even did it.
Besides that, I want to jump back to Yuki's comment because they're saying they made a good point. You know, if we don't give feedback and tell them what sucks, even though it's early, they might think it's all good. So let's give some feedback rather than just wait. So I want to get some brainstorming here on two ideas, and I know we talked one before the podcast a little bit, so let's bring it back up. What do you guys think about right now? Currently, they reset you every season back to the lower tier league versus what they could do is like, hey, let's change it so when you're in Silver 1, you only get reset back to the minimum of Silver 3 or something like that. Because one, you know, we've talked about how hard it is to get those chests day one, which was a pretty bad experience for a lot of people. And then two, it's just also hard to play in a league you're not used to. So like as a player playing gold, I could be used to all these abilities and get dropped back down to silver. And now the win rate matters so much in my rewards. It's actually potentially more difficult to be playing in silver again. So I'm actually losing more matches trying to climb back to gold. So what do you guys think? Should they keep it? Should they change it? What are the consequences maybe?
So I love that they change it, Luke. And here's an example for you. So I finished in Champ 3 this last season. So that means I started in Diamond 3. So I lost my first game and I was immediately pushed back into Gold 1. So I've been playing this entire season at Gold 1 and it sucks. So if I had a chance to at
And
least
you're
be
at
the
champion
level,
chests.
exactly.
Bro.
Let's not dwell on that too much, bro. I
Bro,
already feel bad
how many
enough as
chests
it
did you
is.
get yesterday?
I got 2 focus chests and 3
Oh.
season chests.
Squeaked it out.
Really?
Yeah,
Playing
and so
from 2 leagues back?
and we're
Yeah.
in the same thing, and so the difference that made is I made 9 and 7, and he made 2 and 3. So that's how big of a difference it is that he got knocked down to playing in gold,
What you
as
guys
opposed
play
to
your
even
ECR
staying in
down
diamond. 70.
I did 75.
to? Okay. So you guys played like 100 or so games yesterday.
I played like 30.
Yeah, no, ACR goes down faster than that.
Well, I
It's-
mean,
it's-
so like, but over the day, what do you do it all at once? You just do
No,
all
I played like an hour and a half, and I let it refill up to 80, and then I played again in the evening. And then technically, I played in the morning like 3 matches right before my timer reset to earn 1 more chest.
So
Yeah, because I'm doing 30. I'm doing 30 games a day, but I'm doing it like split up into tens. Like I don't play my ECR below 90%. I'll play 10 games, get to 90, let it recharge,
resets, yeah.
right to 99%, play 10 games, and then like
Sure.
just I'm literally sprinkling it throughout the day so I stay above it, but I'm getting 30 games a day too. So I
Oh.
assumed anybody playing their ECR down to 75 was like logging.
Well, I had to go into the office today, so I knew I wouldn't play for like.
You should
9 hours?
download
Just
the
quit your
mobile
job.
app.
No,
Just
I
download the
don't
Oh
mobile
no!
app.
Don't play the
Not
mobile
until
app.
the
No.
mobile app is real.
Dude, that's where
And
I play all my games on the
I
mobile
do
app.
play a lot, but it is painful.
It
you
is,
have to reset
but
like
hey.
every 5 matches. You have to close
Dude,
out
no.
the app
Real,
and
bro.
reopen.
Champion
Oh,
level.
gosh.
I need the perfect
anyways.
screen. I need everything ready to go. I got
Anyways,
Needs the
back to
candles lit.
Cryptmancer. I want to hear your point. Finish your point. So, what would your change be that you'd want them to make about the season reset?
Yeah, I just, I mean, basically what the season reset did is once I lost my first game, at that point I'm fighting 2 levels down. So instead of fighting champion level abilities and champion level summoners, I'm using gold level stuff, which is not comfortable for me right now. It's not great. So for me, if I could start, like if I was at champ 3 and maybe I start at like diamond 2, that would not give me the immediate 2-step drop, basically. So it would be less, or I guess more forgiving, if that makes sense. So it would be kind of a compromise.
Yeah, I think that that would be a good compromise with this new system to maybe only knock you back 1 less than they were before. So they were doing, like if you made it to 3 in champion, you went to diamond 3, go to diamond 2. If I made it to champ 2, let me go ahead and start in diamond 1 instead of starting in diamond 2. And I'm in the same situation where like if I lose my first match, I go down to diamond 3, but that's not as bad as if you lose that match and go down to gold. That can be really frustrating, especially because the first days of the season, you're already playing against like players who always like all the players who have the best cards are in that area with you, in that rating with you. And so, like, it's the one day of the season where I'm like, oh, look, I get to play against the people that have max gold cards. Here, they're crushing you.
Crazy wild idea. I haven't even thought it out. So what do you guys think about a league lock where it's like you just pick the league and you stay in it? Because like what the game is so different at every single league that does it really matter what your rating is between like being dropped to silver and gold? Like if you're a gold player and you keep losing and you're at 1,000 rating, does it really matter? Because you're still getting punished in your rewards now. I don't know.
I don't
haven't
know.
thought through it. I'm just spitballing here.
There's I think there's still something to like you have to grind up there. But after you've done it once, why make you do it all over again? You know that the chat seems to support our go back to so far. Being able to just lock myself into champion and just say that I get to stay at champion, I don't think that's as good because, like I said, there is a point in theory as Splinterlands becomes popular enough. There's enough people playing with maxed out cards. You know, the sets that have been bought up that all of a sudden I'm not a lock to be in champion because you got to remember diamond and champion are maxed out cards. So champion is really supposed to be the cream of the crop, right?
That kind of makes it easier though between diamond and champion, right? Because like in diamond or in champion, if you get reset to diamond, you're still playing with the same cards. Whereas like if you play in silver and get knocked to bronze, you're playing in a whole new meta.
Yeah. I agree there, but there's also you're still, no matter what, you're playing with people with maxed out cards all the time. So that's why it's such an annoying drop down. Because you're like, yay, I'm playing the same people as I was yesterday and with the same cards as I was yesterday.
But you know that doesn't like that would down change, in the next league. Though. Like if you drop to champion, you're still playing all the same like everybody in champion would just start at the same starting line.
Yeah. I mean, I'd
still
be okay with if you made it to champion, you just stay in champion, honestly. But I still think you have to make it there. I don't think you just get to I don't think you just get to buy maxed out cards and click a button. I'm in champion now.
I'm a champion.
It's just because of the relationship of diamond and champion that a lot of people say, what's the point of them? You know, because they're both maxed out cards. The point of them is that champion is literally supposed to be for the guys who said, I'm going to spend that money. I'm going to buy the Yodins and the Kitties. I'm not just going to buy the Kelias and the, you know, and the Obsidians.
Yeah, it's just such a unique problem for Splinterlands because I can't think of any other game like this. You know, it's like in Valorant, if you rank up, guess what? You're playing the same game just with better players. League of Legends. Like, name any other competitive game, but it's like this when you rank or get deranked literally means you're potentially playing a whole different style of game. And that's the part that, like, is hard for me to wrap my mind on how to fix that because if you do get deranked and you're not good in that new meta, even though technically it should be easier, but it's not necessarily easier because you're having to play with cards that you're not used to. So, I don't know. It's hard.
Gold is tough. Because there's so many cards that lose a very important ability that you're used to them being very, very good. And so you're just like, wait a second. I made my team and it's not doing what I thought it was supposed to do. But, you know, it's only hard for a couple matches. Then you adjust. I don't know, Rogue, have you not made it? You made it back into Diamond, didn't you?
Oh, what?
Diamond? Oh, wow. Big upgrade for Rogue.
Bro, I need a couple more Steve R. I need a couple more Steve R donations.
I was talking to Sinister.
And then we'll get to Diamond.
You're only about 2,000 packs away.
I'll tell you what, Steve. Go ahead and put a diamond on. I got you. All right. No, I'm back to silver. Bronze is rough, though. Like, dead serious for the fact that everything's like 20 or less. Like, the meta is very pigeonholed there. Like, you need a low mana healer like Cerberus or like Zenith. Zenith Monk isn't even that good. You literally got to go get like the alpha beta. What's the haunted spirit? Yeah, haunted spirit. So like looking at stuff like that. But then when you do come across like the llamas or like the crons, and like it does get really rough there. I got lucky though. I had 1 win, then 6 losses in a row. But then I went on like my 12 win streak at that point. And so this is what I mean. Don't focus on your focus. Like you have to get out of the place that they put you. You got to just go and do whatever you got to do to win. And so, then once I got to silver though, it was like a huge relief because I at least got back to like 2 different rule sets, and it increased my mana cap. And I was like, whew, we're totally like, it's a whole different game between bronze and silver. And like the most messed up part is that what?
I can't even pay attention. I'm so sorry. I was trying so hard not to interrupt you because out of nowhere, Steve just sent me like 500 SPS.
No, did he really?
Yeah, and you can check your account too.
Oh God, I see it.
Gosh.
Steve,
Dude,
I love you, buddy.
you're amazing.
Anyway, real quick, finish my thought.
What I was trying to say.
Bronze, like, why do bronze tournaments not follow the same logic as bronze ranked? Bronze tournaments do 2 rules. You have increased mana caps. You don't get screwed like you do in bronze ranked. Bronze ranked and bronze tournaments are 2 different. Destroy whatever algorithm you have for bronze ranked and just put the tournament algorithm in there, and bronze will be fixed 100%. Like quick fix. Boom. Hot take.
Like I said,
Sorry.
bronze. There's like I don't see the point of needing bronze to be like this place where like you protect people from playing the expensive cards and from getting the good cards, because that's what novice is supposed to be, right? You can do that down in novice. The stupid novice league that nobody really stays in for more than like a hot second can be 20 mana boring. And then once you're in bronze, it should be the legitimate mana set, the legitimate rules, and you should allow people to do that. Because how bad does it hurt the rental market that literally all the bronze players who are out there, and there's a decent amount of them, they don't want to rent an 11 cost card. They look at Robo Dragon like, I can never use that. They look at Carnage Titan, never use that. They look at all the 11 cost legendaries from DICE. Those look kind of cool, but I'd never use those. Do I want a 7 cost Jotun? I don't know. I'm not going to be able to play very much with him.
Do I want a 10 cost Kron? Yes.
Yeah.
That's the only one. The only yes.
Yeah, just because Kron wins so much there. But the plain fact of the matter is like if it was more fun and if it was higher mana, you can beat Kron. If it wasn't for the fact that literally you're like this sucks. It's like I can't put out enough cards to beat Kron. So.
Well, and Rogue, going back to what you're saying, you had to struggle your way through bronze, at least for the first few matches. Did you like that, or would you rather just say, reset me back to silver 3, why did I have to go back to bronze?
Okay, so there is a strategy, at least for tournaments. Like, there's a lot of foundation that would have to be changed for us to be like, yeah, you can stay where you're at. You know what I mean? Because, like, there's, like, when you commit to going to the next league, you're committing to, like a tournament price. Like you get like you can't do some of the SBS tournaments for a decent price at that point once you commit to that. And it doesn't matter if you de-rank from there, you're already like once you're in silver, you're like, yep, silver player. There we go. And your tournaments are all costed as a silver player, right? So like there would have to be some function that allows for de-ranking, but then the rest of the system would have to be set up to where you can't abuse that, because then leaderboards get messed up. Like you have to lock people in to do leaderboards. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. There's so much infrastructure that would have to change in order for us to get off of this dropping a rank every season. Like this is what happens when like the dude that just doesn't log on for a month will log back on in novice. You know what I mean? This is the way that like the game is set up, you know, to like push people back for not playing, for not maintaining collection power, so I don't know. So
yes, you're fine just saying, hey, first couple days, just expect you're not going to earn that many chests.
Yeah, 100%.
Expect it to be hard and
100%. Because at the end of the day, in day one with my strategy, I got 3 silver chests. I didn't play my ECR below 90. I got 400 ranking. I went from 900 to 1333, and it was literally the exact same as last reward season, where like I start in bronze, I do my daily chest, and I wait to see how high I can get my rating before I cash it in. And it was usually only 2 or 3 reward chests. So I'm like literally on par with where I was. And now we're getting into the games, because today I'm only 10 games in and I've already gotten like way more reward points than I did yesterday.
Yeah.
10 games in because I'm at that higher ranking that I need to now. So I don't have an issue with it right now. I'm sure the top players is going to be entirely different for them. Because yeah, you're right. Dropping leagues is frustrating. Having to play in a different meta is frustrating. So yeah, there is an answer somewhere. I just don't know if it's locking people into a league. There's a lot of stuff that has to be switched for that.
Locking gets a little tough. Maybe not dropping people down quite as far would be nice, or maybe it just stays the way it is. And like you said, like honestly, 7 chess and 9 chess wasn't terrible for me. If you lose and you get dropped down 2 leagues, that hurts you a lot. As brought up. So
7 to 9 is still really good though. I had a lot of people in my Discord being like, "Dude, I was grinding and I got like 1 chest." And
I don't know how that
maybe
could
need
happen.
to switch up their strategy.
The only thing I could imagine is that's a silver 3 player who got dropped down into bronze 3 and couldn't win though.
And there's going to be a huge amount of there's going to be a lot of people. There's 2 things that are really important. And this is why I keep saying win streak. I'm saying win streak because I'm speaking to you as a player that's not loaded in gold cards. I don't have gold foil cards. I'm trying to level up my base cards and to play the game. You know what I mean? So for me, the bonus to these points is on that win streak. It's very important. So there's going to be a lot of players that are if you've got a 60% win rate and you can't put a win streak together, you're 2-1, 2-1, 2-1, you're not going to get anywhere quick. It's this reward system is not going to reward you unless you get to that top rating. Then maybe the 60, the 2-1, 2-1, 2-1 does better for you.
Yeah.
But
I think
day 1 grind, no.
Yeah. I think we've killed this conversation we've hit it enough. So I want to go one more before we end, because I think probably the other biggest complaint I've heard is the daily focus thing. So let's just brainstorm here for a second. What would we change it to? What do you guys have any ideas? Basically, I've only heard 4 different ideas. One is hey, make it a dual splinter so we can use 2 different decks. One I've heard is just remove it completely, so it's season and daily is the same thing and there is no daily focus. Another is I've heard there should be achievements, you need to heal 100 hit points or something like that. And then I can't remember what the 4th one was now that I've heard, but I don't know, what would you guys maybe want to see, or do we not have any ideas yet?
I think the fastest fix is to make it similar to the old quest, but let you change it to a different splinter after every 5 wins of your focus. So if you're Earth, you have to get 5 wins with Earth, and then you can change it or you can leave it. So if you like Earth and Earth is strong, cool. If not, go ahead, hit the button, get something new, switch to that new team, and then you can mix it up. And maybe we could lower that to make it more fun and do 3 wins. So there is kind of a little bit of a competitive thing to being hey, you have to go win with this team we told you to win with, but you don't have to win with it all day. And it feels like they already have a mechanic to reset the daily. So just allowing you to hit that button after X amount of wins might be an easy fix. I do think changing it long term, I like the attributes idea. Make it, heal 100 hit points, do 100 range damage, do 100 sneak damage, but stuff that you can do on every single team. I think that would be really cool.
What do you think, Crypt Mancer?
I like the KISS principle. Keep it simple. So for me, I think the format of daily quests is archaic and no longer needed. Honestly, I guess it encourages things if it goes to healing or range damage, maybe it would encourage you to buy cards that you wouldn't otherwise use. But I look at it this way. I mean, the season points gives you reward shares for wins. And the handcuffs are off. You can get as many season points as long as you keep winning. So why not make just points, reward points? Don't have season points or focus points, just have reward points. If you win, you get reward shares, period. You can win with Dragon, you can win with Life, you can win with Earth, whatever you want to win with. Let me have the freedom to play how I want to play, and don't pigeonhole me into saying, hey, you have to win with this. That's not fun. Yes, it's challenging, but I want to use my whole collection and use it how I want to use it. So for me, I just say get rid of the focus. Just, rank rewards, just reward me for winning. however I choose to do it.
I feel like that creates an exploit, because if they're not going to randomly force you to use different teams, which encourages you to have leveled up cards in every team and just let you win, well, then I'm just going to get Kitty. I'm just going to get Jotun. I'm just going to have those two powered up. I'm going to go back to renting that cheap CP to get me enough power, and I'm just going to play those two decks all day. And then that hurts to me, the idea of like helping the overall card economy grow a little bit.
Yeah, but if you only play Kitty and Jotun and I see that, I'm going to counter you. Well, I mean, Kitty's harder to counter than Jotun.
Kitty's pretty hard to counter in a lot of rule sets. And I understand what you're saying, but I'm going to win enough. You'll counter me, but not everybody has the cards to counter Jotun and Kitty. I'm going to win enough with those two teams. Maybe I get 3 if I need 3, but I'm not going to get 6. And I feel like the daily quest has always been kind of that encouragement to, you got to level all your teams because you don't know which one you're going to have to use today to get those rewards.
Yeah, no, I understand the challenges there, and it's there for a reason. I just think from a pure, if I'm talking from a player enjoyment perspective, what's going to give me more enjoyment is, don't handcuff me, basically.
Yeah. I agree there.
I feel the same way about the achievement ideas. I like the achievements just as a part of the game. Like, hey, as you play the game, maybe when you hit your 1,000th point of healing, we reward you with like 100 DEC, kind of like Rising Star does. Like you complete 100 missions, you get some more star bits. But I think doing that for a daily focus feels even more of that handcuff that you're talking about, Cryptmancer, because it's like if I have to hit 100 points of healing to get a daily chest, like I'm gonna have to spam a healer every single time, and it's probably not going to work out for me.
Who doesn't play healers?
Well, okay, maybe healing is a bad one, but whatever, like maybe I have a really strong magic deck and it's like you have to get 200 range damage. I was like, no,
everybody in bronze is like, oh, not everything of mine heals.
So I like the achievement idea. I just don't know if I like it for the daily focus, I guess is more my point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it definitely needs a tweak though, because this same team all day.
I'm telling you, just like it's bait. It's bait.
It's not bait though, because like I'm getting a lot of chests focusing on it by getting multiple strategies. Yeah. So it's like,
and we'll see what happens at the end of the season, because like you can't do that every day. You know what I mean? Like what was your first one? Like what was your guys' first
Earth?
Yesterday was fire. Today was dragon.
Okay. So how much better did you do with dragon than fire?
Well, I mean, the season's a little bit easier now, so I did about double with dragon, but that's because fire day one was.
I was watching Bulldog stream on day one, and he had dragon, and he was complaining. I wanted to strangle him. I'm like, I wanted dragon. I had to use earth. Right. Llama's cool, but he's not always cool.
So I mean, the thing is though, if you get like let's say you average like 9 chests a day over 14 days of season. That's over like 100 additional chests.
Yeah, it's like doubling your season reward. I mean, I'll earn 10 less on my season, 15 less on my season to earn 90 dailies.
Yeah, we'll find out. We'll find out how much less.
Rogue, you're so confident.
We'll find out how much less you do. Like dead serious.
Also,
like that's where.
Though, I'm earning 7 in diamond. Once I get 2 champion, I think I'm going to be earning like 15 or 16 a day. I really do, because I'm playing in diamond 2. Right now, I just have to get back to champion, and then my rating will be so much higher that I'll be earning way more points. But I guess I still got to get a feel for how much harder it gets, because I know it's a sliding scale.
Yep. And that's what we'll find out, because somebody had brought up earlier in the chat that once you get to like mid-season, then maybe those season chests do get so far apart that it is worth spamming to just get the daily chest at that point. In my opinion, early game, like we should just be focusing on win rates and getting to that max. But if a change has to be made, I would like it to be made in the way of it's like you get a focus and I don't know, you have to like knock it out in 5 wins and then you get a new focus. But like that's really it. Like you can't do more than 5. Or like you could have a wheel to where like you have, like I would say like the most perfect situation would be something along the lines of like, you know, those graphs where you have like 5 points and then like based on the percentages, it kind of changes how the graph is filled out, right?
Mm-hmm.
You would have something in the way of like, if you were evenly distributed amongst all 5 splinters, you'd be at like 100%. But as you start leaning more towards different splinters, you would decrease the amount of focus that you would get, or whatever. You would probably have to change it from focus. Like if you're focusing too much, you would get less rewards on the
I like
daily versus like if you stayed spread out,
It
right?
might be a little too complicated, but essentially what I'm picturing is like almost an ECR for each summoner. So it's like as you keep spamming the same one over and over again, it
Yeah.
drains it down some of your reward percentages or
Yeah.
your. I mean, again, that might be a little bit too complex and another layer on top. But either way, I think what we're all saying is that it needs to be some kind of variety. So I remember the fourth option that someone said, it was like, can we have a daily focus, but maybe like if you're not using the daily focus and you win, maybe you get 50% of what you would have. So it's like almost like the daily focus is just a bonus. So you're still getting some kind of chest for your winning, but
Exactly.
then if you
That's
want
the
to
way I'm
use that,
looking
it's
at
a
it.
bonus.
That's the way I'm looking at it. Is this? It's all just because I'm going to hit the splinters. Like by playing to win, I'm going to hit those splinters throughout the course of this. And as I'm like, this is my biggest argument. You guys probably heard ignore, and you might have missed my point. By ignore, I mean just play for the win rate. And by play for the win rate, what that means is that when you get on that 10 win streak, if you're on that streak and you hit that focus splinter a couple times along the way, not because you're focusing on it, but just because it was the right call for that, you're getting way more points for that win than you are by spamming it, or like doing that 2-to-1, 2-to-1, 2-to-1. You know what I mean? So that's my argument, is that through the course of just playing the game, you should be hitting these splinters anyway along the way. And so that's what I'm going to be tracking, is like the data that I have for day one. I did 30 games. I went 20 for 10. I had a 12 win streak. My focus was light. So of the 30 games, I did 13 of them in light, right? And I went 10-3 in light. So I had a better win rate on focus than I did in just my regular, just by playing it, like when it came out, right? And I got 3 chests for doing that. Not for spamming, but just for playing 30 games. And when it came time to play white. So that's what I'm going to be tracking, is like, what do I get for doing that? And then next season, I'll start experimenting with what happens if I spam one day. What happens if I play ECR all the way down to 50%? Blah, blah, blah. This is the baseline,
Yeah.
So we're talking about things that are maybe changes that we could introduce to the game. One of the things that I saw in Mav Chat that was pretty interesting, which is a totally different topic, but I think it would be an interesting conversation real quick, is, we all like sinks in the game for assets that, we hold. So what if you could, for example, spend and burn a voucher and gain back 10% ECR? What would that do to vouchers and the market?
Well, I would love that because I have a lot of vouchers, so I earn a lot of vouchers.
There would definitely be an arbitrage there for sure.
I don't know if I love it though, because is there enough vouchers in the world to support that? Because a lot of them would get burned, and I mean
The voucher
vouchers.
value would go up when they get burned, right?
Then nobody would burn it. Like,
until it made sense to burn it. So there's that opportunity where, maybe they set the ECR burn equal to, like for every dollar of voucher value, you got 10% ECR. Something like that.
That to me, that's a Mav Chat thing. That would benefit me. Would it benefit any of you?
Well,
I
I think it
mean-
would benefit people that stake SPS, because any pressure, any utility on vouchers that also provides a sync to vouchers adds value to stakers of SPS.
I could definitely, I wouldn't mind that. That wouldn't bug me at all, because I have a lot of SPS staked, and it gives another advantage. But do I need the ability to get another 2 or 3 chests?
It's an option.
Burning a couple
People can ask
vouchers.
for.
So, well, yeah. I don't know. I'm okay with it, but what do you guys think?
Yeah,
I don't mind
know.
the sync. We'll find out.
I wonder how hard it would make for the team as far as like I feel like they have kind of numbers of vouchers for things and like calculating that out for when they do things like the validator nodes or Rift Watchers, things like that. So I don't know if the team would want to go through that work of having to try to figure that out, the supply versus how many are getting burned for every type of sale and all these bonuses they're doing. I mean, I mostly look at vouchers as a thing for whales anyways, and I just wait for it to go to $2 or more and sell mine off. So
yeah, you've done very well on those. Like I've sat on mine the whole time. I'm like, yeah, we're here, and then we go back down, and I'm like, oh, Luke won.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
I've been
interesting.
preaching buy it one, sell it two for quite a while, and I did that recently. So
yeah. I don't know. It's definitely an interesting concept. I'm not against it. I think I just need to think more on that for a bit.
Well, it's the beauty of the game is because the things that we think of or that Matt thinks of, these are all things because Splinterlands is a complex ecosystem that can be introduced to the game to add more, not necessarily complexity, but more value at the end of the day. And like, because for example, if you're a player and you're like, hey, I'm at 75% ECR. I know it's optimal to stay here, but maybe I can just go on Hive Engine and pay $1, buy a voucher, and I'm at 85% ECR. Would I do that? Is that an option that would be interesting to me? Maybe.
I just don't know if burning vouchers is what I would want to see for that. I think I'd rather see SPS burn.
How about,
Because vouchers is kind of like a little cookie they give us, and they already have a purpose for those cookies, and they've shown us that time and time again. As soon as you start to ignore them, they release something and it pumps the price back up, and it's a very easy thing for Luke to trade, I'm sure, and anybody else who's paying attention
easiest
to
thing
them.
ever.
So I don't know if the little cookie extra thing that they're giving us, that they're already going to introduce, like another promo card that you need 100 vouchers to get, which will pump the price, and they're going to release another set. And if voucher prices are low, they're going to say you need vouchers to get the set. And they've already built in so many ways to protect the value in vouchers. I think SPS could use more and more and more and more love. So if you're going to burn something to get ECR back up, I would just do that.
I like where you're headed though, Cryptmancer, because I think one of the things is with these new changes, they're like, oh, you can earn 150 season chests. Oh, you can earn 30 daily chests. It's like, but can we really?
No,
they make it so
carrot.
hard. So I like the idea of creating some ways, and maybe that's like another potion or something that gives you a boost to your focus points or something like that. I don't know about vouchers, but I think some way to be able to give yourself a boost every once in a while, because it is crazy hard. I can't even. Has anyone in the chat even gotten close to 30 chests? I mean, even spamming in bronze,
There's
I got 15,
no way
and
anybody would have done it yet. I'll wait till like day 6.
Okay, I'm
before
gonna count. I got 16 spamming Llama Kron, and if I push my ECR down to maybe like 20%, I could have done it maybe, but it wouldn't have been worth it to me at that point.
I mean, they mentioned in the chat that to get the maxed one, you'd have to pretty much be playing at the top version, so bronze 3, and with all gold cards of the max level for the league to earn the 30 in a day. So I mean, that was said, and so I didn't have the expectation that I'd get there, but that was kind of the idea.
Sure. Yeah, I'm just saying every once in a while it'd be cool if they're like, hey, here's a boost for your day, and
I mean,
make it a little more exciting.
A potion to make it, R to the 4 instead of the 3 would be cool, right?
To the 4. Oh, that sounds like a lot of R share. Wow, that's a big bump.
Yeah, 1,000 SPS per potion.
Cool. Well, we got to wrap up. We got lots of good ideas, so we're gonna have to save some of those other good ideas for the next episode potentially. So let's sign off for tonight. Starting with Rogue. Anything you want to shout out this week?
Make sure you guys come out, watch Splinterlands TV. I believe at this point we are all on Splinterlands TV.
What?
Is that official?
I signed the contract today.
Ooh,
so yeah,
Nice.
I don't know exactly when my first stream will be, but I'm going to be Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. Pacific to 10 p.m. So I got a 2-hour spot.
We're just gonna have to do Splinter Talk on your spot.
Yeah, you're going to be competing with me.
Just rating.
No, we're just gonna do it on your stream.
Let's do it.
The new home of Splinter Talk.
Yeah, the new home of Splinter Talk, Splinterlands TV.
Yeah,
But yeah, every Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern to 11 p.m. Eastern, please come hang out with me. That's kind of where all my content's been lately. Summers pick up a lot for me. We do a lot of stuff with the family, and so it's really just going to be kind of that window to have some time to come hang out with me and pick my brain and do whatever we want to do on Splinterlands. So let's do it.
Cool. All right. Cryptmancer, anything you want to shout out?
Yeah, I'm on Splinterlands TV as well, Saturday evenings from 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. Eastern. So come on, hang out with us on your weekends after you get back from the club. And yeah, definitely thanks, Luke, for having me on again today. And for those who haven't checked out your channel on Balthazar, definitely make sure you add that to your subscription on YouTube as well.
Ooh,
so
wow, you're giving me a shout out. You're just like making me, want you back. Is that the idea?
sure.
Come back.
I mean, you're climbing the leaderboard. I want to say you're catching up the gym if you haven't already. It's going to be tight.
Yeah, well, he's making some of the best videos out there right now, without a doubt. And some of the best research I've seen.
I agree.
I'm glad to see your channel is growing. And I like your videos are probably my number one most watched. Like, I have to watch your video. I'll get around to some of the other guys. So
yeah, Steve sees my videos now. He's like, whatever. Garbage. I mean, I haven't done any videos hardly.
But yeah, for me, he stole my thunder there. I'm going to be on Splinterlands TV. My first stream, I'll probably do something special. So be looking out for an announcement that I'll probably give away something pretty cool. I'm thinking all those. So I bought no, not a node, but I bought those three level 8 summoners, right? The Mylor, the Lorena, and the Bright. I have a level 4 of each of them.
Oh,
I don't need those anymore. So should I give those away on my first Splinterlands TV stream? What do you guys think?
I'm not gonna compete because you've already given me so much, but I like so badly.
Wait, when is it? Yeah, hold on.
No,
I
it's a
gotta be
level
there.
4 Mylor, level 4 Lorena, level 4 Bright.
Bright and Bloom.
I literally read those
three.
I don't really need them anymore. So
let's
that's
go.
spicy. That's spicy.
Yeah, I'm down.
And then, other than that, I'm just, I agree. I think that the game has a chance to grow a lot this summer. I hope everyone who's making content continues and keeps putting it out there and starts to really brag about what they're getting. I think it's important to share these rewards, maybe film yourself opening your champion chests when you're getting them, or your gold ones and diamonds, so you can show those off in little clips. It might be time to go to TikTok, guys. What do you think? Just like, hey, what did I get in my 7 champion chests today?
China.
I hate TikTok so much, but I've had to start making some for Balthazar, and it kills me. I'm like, TikTok is the worst. It's the worst.
So, yeah, I know. I don't even have a TikTok account because I haven't wanted to touch that yet. But it was fun again, guys, and thanks again for doing everything you guys do for the game.
Yeah.
Oh, bro,
Well, chat.
thank you.
Oh. Yeah, thanks to Steve for the generous gifts tonight, and thank you everyone for watching. Cryptmancer, Rogue, thanks for being on as well. Always fun, and there is so much to talk about, so I'm sure if some of you guys are available, we'll do another episode next week. But chat, thank you, much love, and if you're on podcast platforms, you can also leave a review if you want. And I forgot to mention at the beginning of the episode, if anyone wants to start getting into the conversation more, so they can tweet out or post in our Discord in the Splinter Talk Show hashtag. So we'll read your comments live if you want to do that. For now, see you all later and catch you next time.